Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of getting the swinger ready for paint. So let me just flip the camera around here. It's been a long week and a half sanding and sanding and sanding. I didn't think you wanted to see me sanding. So we're just going to jump right into prepping for paint, which is going to be in just a couple days. So I'm trying to clean up the entire mess that I made, wiping everything down, cleaning, vacuuming, fixing the ceiling, and just, getting stuff out of here and cleaned up. Anyway, let's jump right into it. So like I mentioned, guys, I've been sanding and sanding and sanding on the body. We finally got her pretty darn straight. So you can see on the roof here what I mean about all the dust, that's gotten everywhere. We're gonna rip this plastic off, all the tape, retape everything up, tape the glass all off, tape the vinyl top off, tape the windows inside and out off, tape, the opening for the door off. I'm gonna tape this area off, everything else, we'll hit with epoxy primer, and then we'll top coat it. I got the other fender just sitting here right now. I need to set that up so we can set the fender on there. I've been cleaning, wiping down all of that, cleaning the cabinets, moving cabinets, cleaning the rails. I had to retape most of the ceiling because a lot of the tape had been falling down and little styrofoam fuzzy balls, were floating down on occasion. The last thing I want is, my luck, a fuzzy little foam ball to hit the car. So the other thing is I got the toolboxes out of here. And the reason being, so I have room to spray the car. Before that I had toolboxes that were sticking way out. I only had a couple feet here. The cabinets were this way. I moved them all the way down. That way when I go to paint the cowl, right, I can paint the cowl and then come down the whole body side, right? It gives me a couple feet here to spray it and work. As of right now, I'm going to set the fenders up here. I'm actually going to put this fender here and the other fender there, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this window cracked open, and down there I will have fans sucking everything that direction. So that way, we'll have the garage. The reason I'm kind of pushing is in a couple of days I'm actually going to have a 60-degree day. Actually, a couple of 60-degree days, because I'm going to paint the bottom side of the deck lid first, and I'm going to paint the front and rear valance panels to kind of get used to the material that I'm going to spray, and then, before we top coat the rest of the car. So that way we can make sure, everything's going to look good. Now, the car is still dirty, so I need to wipe down the car real good. I'm going to use the glass cleaner to wipe it down, get it clean the first time. And then right before going to paint, I'll use a wax and grease remover to wipe the whole car down, to make sure it is spot on. We'll be putting plastic up over cabinets, over this, all up over all of this. So we'll have plastic covering everything up, trying to keep everything from getting overspray. And try to keep the dust down. So that's kind of where we're at, guys. All right, guys, so I'm using the spray away here to clean all the parts, at least for a couple of cleanings. As I make a mess, right? In other words, like I took an air gun, this style of air gun here, okay, with a long nozzle. And you can see I've got holes here going into the cowl, all right, several locations. I also have where the squirter nozzles go through, okay, and basically blew air in here to blow all the crap out of there that I could. Used a shot vac while blowing it out to try to catch it. Obviously it made a bit of a mess, so I'm wiping down everything now. But I gotta blow all that crap out of there, because if I go over it with the gun, right, it's gonna blow some crap up. So we did our best to blow this all out real good. I kept blowing it. I didn't see anything else coming out. So hopefully we've got that all done. I'll probably do one more time here in a little bit after things have settled, try to clean it out one more time. then retape these up for the wiper blades, right? So I don't get paint all over the little grooves where the blades slip on. I also blew out all this area. I'm gonna tape some roughly here forward and not paint this, right? I'm gonna basically paint from about here up. All this engine compartment will all still stay black. And then from about here back, you know, we'll paint the jambs here, open the doors, paint the jambs inside the car and all that. But, you know, blow this crap all out, very low air pressure, get it blowed out. This is dirt that you see in there. I need to take the spray away and clean all this real good now before we, you know, do some epoxy and all that. So we'll clean this real good beforehand, before I tape this all up. But just a little quick thing, and you can see now how I've kind of got the fenders laid out as well. I'll come back to you guys here in a little bit because we're gonna hang up the valances and stuff up there, and those will be the first couple items we'll paint. We'll probably cover the car up to prevent any overspray from getting onto the car when I'm painting until I'm ready to paint the car. So I'm just using the spray away right now for initial cleaning. And then we'll come over this with wax and grease remover for the final clean, tack rag it, you know, and then we'll get ready to paint before long. So just a quick little update on prepping for paint. We're gonna obviously be taping this whole car up here soon. When I get it taped up, I'll show you what I did. So guys, I still got a long way to go, but the car is, you know, I need to tape all along the bottom of the car yet, around the back and the other side. We have the front pretty much done. I just got to tape it down to the floor. You can see we got the windshield, the roof, inside the car, outside, you know, or I should say the inside of the car, you know, it's basically ready to be jammed. You know, sealer applied everywhere. I've got the deck lid, you know, here, or the trunk area all taped up. The trunk extension's done. Fenders are taped up. I've got paper on the stands just to try to keep them looking somewhat nice. I still need to plastic all this, all this, all this, all this. And then we got to, I'm gonna plastic all on the floor because of the heavy overspray. And this floor is actually in really nice shape. I would like it to stay that way. A buddy of mine who is a painter, paints a lot of cars at home. He suggested it because otherwise, you know, I'll be walking around and you hear stick, 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 you know, from your feet. You go into the house, your wife will be mad. So we're gonna do that. I need to get the fans ready because we're gonna set them up right there. I'll pull this a little further back and then set a couple of fans under there to blow all the overspray out. Yeah. Got a lot to do on this Saturday. So anyway, guys, let me get right after it. And I'll show you what this place looks like when it's a little more cleaned up. And then we'll go over in the next video, right before we paint, you know, the materials we'll be spraying and a couple things I was able to pick up locally that you guys can grab too. So anyway, see you guys in a few minutes. All right, guys, because this is a real thin plastic of 0.31 mil, up top there, you'll see, you know, the yellow tape with the cardboard stapled in. That's to keep the plastic from tearing out. So if I were just to staple to this plastic, right, this plastic could just rip right through that staple. So what it is, took a piece of cardboard, stapled it through the cardboard to the wood, and then this will, you know, keep it from ripping out at least. So if we get a little bit of air movement in here, you know, that should keep it nice and tight. And this is obviously just static clinged right to the metal. So I need to put in a couple more right over here. So when I open up the garage door a little bit, this doesn't, you know, blow out. Well, guys, it looks like a body condom in here. There's plastic there, obviously here. We've got the floor all covered up, the car all taped up. My lathe, cabinets, so everything is pretty much ready for tomorrow. I need to take those and move them somewhere else because those will not be painted. Well, yeah, they will be painted tomorrow. Forgot about that. I may need to set something up and set those on top of that so I can epoxy prime them or sealer them, spray sealer. So I will have to do that. You can see here, I've got my exhaust fans all set up. They will go in the garage door there, and you know, I've got that window open right now, cracked, and we'll let fresh air in. And hopefully tomorrow, the goal is to get the sealer on the entire car, paint the back side of the deck lid, paint the front and rear valance, final color, and get the door jambs done. So we'll jam out the car, and then what we'll do is let it set up overnight, and then we will seal this up, right, or tape this up, tape this up here real fast, so that way in the morning, being Monday morning, we can top coat everything. So that's kind of the goal. So anyway, guys, that kind of wraps up the prep part of this video. All right, guys, let's kind of go through what all we've got laid out. So what I am using is black direct to metal epoxy primer that I'm going to reduce 20% and use as a sealer, which is perfectly fine to use. The reason being is I've got some bare metal areas, and I want to use this as an alternative to a sealer to make sure I get those bare metal areas all sealed up good. Then we have 2 gallons of single stage acrylic urethane, and the color is gunmetal gray metallic. So this is the color I originally wanted to paint the car. I may only need to use 1 gallon because we are not painting the hood. We're not painting the roof because it's a vinyl top. And so then we just have the rest of the car. So you can see here the activator. So we've got 1 gallon of paint, activator, so this will make, what, about 6 quarts, I think? Or no, 5 quarts, sorry. 5 quarts of material. So we should have enough to paint the car. Now I plan on doing 3 medium coats and then a drop coat, which we'll talk more about. So I'm going to do 3 medium coats. I watched a really good video the other day that you're spraying a metallic color, and basically you want to go on real light, if you will, or medium. I shouldn't say light, medium. And then basically when you put your finger on, let's say a piece of plastic or paper, if it's stringy, right, then you don't want to paint. If it's, if your finger just sticks to the paint, then it's ready for the next layer. Now this, guys, by the way, 1 coat of this after 30 minutes, I can top coat. 60 minutes afterward, I can top coat if I do 2 coats, or I have up to 4 days to top coat this type of material, according to the sheet. Okay, so you can print out these product data sheets from Summit Racing's website and get the information about reducing and dry time and recoat times and all that kind of stuff. Now this, you have basically about 10 minutes in between each coat, to get that tacky feel. Like I said, if you get stringy, then you want to stop. Now when I go to do the third coat, let's say, medium wet, then what I'm going to do is what they call a drop coat. It's where I increase the air pressure slightly, a couple of PSI, and then, we pull the gun back about 2 to 3 feet, and then just, mist it on to help get rid of those tiger stripes and stuff. Here's the reducer I'll be using. So this reducer I'll use not only with the direct metal here, but also with the single stage. My gun, okay. I also bought a brand new air hose because I don't want any contaminants from my old used air hoses. So one thing you can go get from Home Depot, guys, is you can get these 2.5 quart mixing buckets. Okay, you can see they've got the graduations on here to get the mixing ratios. All right, and you can mix up a bunch of it all at once. So I got 2 of these, so that way I can mix this up and then, you know, just keep pouring it into the cups, which I'm using the Spectrum Universal Paint System, where basically you've got this cup, and then you can see you've got basically just the liners and caps that go on inside of this for quick change. Got some mixing cups here. There's my cleaners, right? Filters for the pour the material in. Brand new respirator, paint suit. Okay, here's some filters for the mask. Down there I've got some wax and grease remover and lacquer thinner to clean the gun and everything up. Extra tape in case something comes loose. Microfiber towels, which I understand you should use to wipe off the wax and grease remover, you know, to get a better clean. These are a non-lint style, so hopefully we don't leave any lint on there. And that's kind of it, guys. So this is a lot of the materials. I've got flashlights ready to go here. I also have a light over here, LED light I'll be using, and tonight I'm going to go purchase a light to put on my paint gun that was supposed to show up from Amazon today. It did not, so we're making a Harbor Freight run. So stick around, guys. See if I screw this up or not tomorrow. Oh, I just realized I need to clean my gas cap and tape it off before I do anything. Let me do that before I forget, so that's ready to go tomorrow.
All right, guys, so the light that I wanted for my paint gun I bought off Amazon didn't show up in time. Of course, you know, so Amazon epic fail saying overnight delivery or next day delivery, whatever. So I went to Harbor Freight and picked up this guy, Universal, right? It actually has two different clips here to mount to your paint gun. So we will mount this up here in a second, but just to give you an idea, so you do get a USB-C charger, you know, plug it in, charge it up, and then you can just leave that closed and press it, and you can see, guys, that that's a lot of light for this little 300 lumen deal. And it's actually not too heavy. You can see now it kind of lit up. So we're going to give this guy a whirl.
All right, guys, so you'll get these two adapters, right? So there's one that has an A on it, which is a little smaller. One that has a B on it, a little larger. And basically, you know, this just screws on. But what's nice is there's little ridges inside of here. I don't know if you can see those. Little ridges inside there. See, right, the ridges here on the gun. Just flip it over and tighten it up, and you can see it doesn't wiggle. So I'll give her a crank down. All right, so she lines up. Grab your light, and it just clips in place like so. So now we've got our light, and it is a little heavier, but for me, I'm not a professional, right? I'm just a Joe Schmo. So we're gonna give this a whirl here. Let's flip this around and we'll turn it on, and I'll go to the other side of the car there and just to kind of give you guys a view of what it looks like. So here's the dark side of the car. And yeah, guys, that's gonna help a whole lot when spraying this. Yeah, this is gonna be nice to have. Just need to keep this thing charged up now. Don't be an idiot and keep playing with it. All right, I would have to say for me, this is definitely a win. All right, guys, so we've got the fans running. We'll open up a window here in a little bit, and it's supposed to warm up, you know, here in a few hours, but we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wipe the car down one final time. So I've already wiped it down with the window cleaner. Now I'm gonna hit it with wax and grease remover. Go ahead and mix up the epoxy primer, and then, you know, or my sealer, I should say. And then we'll tack rag the car right after I get the sealer all mixed up. We'll tack rag the car real quick, and then we'll spray some sealer. So we've got to spray these parts in sealer, which will eventually get hung up here. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get it right into it. All right, guys, so we've got the sealer all mixed up, ready to go. I took a tack rag the entire car. So the car is ready to go. Now it's time for me to get suited up. We'll set up the camera and spray a little sealer. So we're gonna start, since you know, the windows are cracked open, right? The air is gonna flow towards the back there, you know, with the 3 fans pulling air that direction. So we're gonna basically start front to back of the car and all the parts. Sorry guys, I only recorded a little bit of me painting, but 2 coats of sealer. Really happy how it turned out. There's only a couple little dust specks in it here and there. So for the most part, I'm gonna call this a win. I do have 1 run in that lower valance panel. Not sure how we got there, but overall, I will say this looks good. So in about an hour-ish, I am going to go ahead and jam the car out, right? Hit the jams with actual color, and then paint the lower and upper valance and the inside of the deck lid, and maybe the fender caps. I haven't decided. I might wait on those until I mix up a huge batch of paint, so then when I paint the fenders, I can paint those and everything matches. I'll probably do that. All right, so let's be smart, right? So that's kind of where we're at right now. So with that said, guys, we'll come back in a little bit here. I've got most of my mess cleaned up. I've got some still epoxy primer or sealer in there. You know, just in case I want to touch an area up, or save it. I'll just mix some fresh stuff so I can paint the top of the deck lid tomorrow. So that's why I'm painting the bottom side of it today. So we're going to paint the bottom side of the deck lid as well today. That way then tomorrow I can flip it over, epoxy prime the top of the deck lid tomorrow, let it settle up for a little bit, and then we'll start painting the entire car. So that's kind of where things are at, guys. So, you know, I don't know about you, but man, this is black, right? That looks pretty darn straight to me. So this is still flashing off, but I don't say I didn't do a horrible job with body work. I'd say it looks all right. Now we'll have to spray that gray on there. And now I gotta fix this. My feet were getting real sticky there. So I need to do a little bit more with plastic or throw some boards down or something. All right, guys, so you can see the filters, what they look like now that it's calmed down in here. And you know why the respirator was so black. These filters are nice and black, all three of them. And this is why also I put plastic down, right? You can see some of the overspray on the plastic. So we'll replace these filters when I go to spray the actual color tomorrow. Now I am gonna spray the deck lid tonight and paint the two valances here. Oops, two valance panels and inside the door jambs here today, and that's it. So that way tomorrow I can close the door and then, you know, completely close the door and then, you know, paint the quarter panels and doors and fenders and everything in color tomorrow. So that's kind of that's what we're doing. And when you tape up, guys, don't forget to cover up a VIN if you have a VIN there. That's what that tape is for, the original VIN number. So what we'll be doing next is I'm going to finish doing some cleaning up over there on the workbench, getting ready to mix up the paint, and then we'll go ahead and tack off the part, you know, the areas here real quick. Get a tack rag out and do that. And then what's nice, guys, on these paint cups that I purchased at a swap meet a while ago, you can see here they have a 4-to-1 and a 10% column. So if I want to mix a 6, right, so it would be 6 parts paint, and then I would come over here to 1 part, which would be the urethane activator, and then you can see here this third 6 here would be 10% reduction, which is what I want to run. So we'll do, in this column here, will be the 4 parts of the single stage, 1 part here, so go to 6 now with this activator, right? We'll basically go from here up to here with the activator, and then we'll just dump in a little bit of reducer to that 6. And that will get me a 4-to-1 ratio with 10% reduction, or you know, a reducer. Sorry, couldn't think of the word. Anyway, let's go ahead and mix them up, and like I said, we'll spray a little paint. There we go, guys. Gunmetal metallic, and it has just a hint of green apparently in it. So that's what we are going to spray. So hopefully it looks like this on the car when we go to lay the color on. Hopefully I don't screw it up. Alright, guys, so we've got the jams jammed out. Okay. I may do, that's 3 coats, guys. I don't think I'm going to do any more paint on the jams. Alright. Coming over here, I'm going to do 1 more coat inside the deck lid. Gives you a better idea of the color. Now granted, this is not an outdoor light, right? And then here is my front and rear valance so far. You really can't tell the color with this one, with the direction I'm kind of standing here. But so far, so good. So what I'm going to do here is do 1 more coat on that back side of the deck lid, 1 more coat on both of these, and then I'm going to do a kind of increase the pressure a little bit and then do what they call a drop coat on these two parts, and then pull the gun away, you know, to about here and just kind of fan it on a little bit and see how it does. So hopefully the metallics will lay a little more different and stand up really nice. Well guys, it's the next day, and so I flipped the deck lid over. I just put some sealer on it. I'm gonna do one more coat of sealer here in about 10 minutes. And I almost forgot to do the fuel cap. So I took the fuel cap apart real fast this morning, sandblasted it, and we'll get that painted today too. So that's kind of where we're at. Now, next thing I'm gonna do is once I get the sealer on that and the filters, you know, clear out all the overspray, I'm gonna tack rag the car, fenders. You can see I've got the doors closed now. And so we'll top coat the car here in just a little bit. All right guys, so we've got a big pot of paint mixed up. We still have some left if needed. So now we are going to, paint the body. So we're gonna do the fenders, hit the body, and then the deck lid. So we'll knock the fenders out here, and then kind of, you know, go over to the body, get a coat on it, and then come back to the fenders, the body, you know, for about 3 coats. And then, you know, we got to do the fuel cap and the deck lid. So wish me luck, because, yeah, this is the nervous part. Well guys, the car is all painted, and I learned a very valuable lesson that I want to pass along if you're still watching the video at this point. Do not put plastic up here or in your wheel wells unless it's paint specific plastic that paint will adhere to. Because what happened was when I hit it with a spray gun, this shit wrinkled and paint flew everywhere, flakes flew everywhere. So there was some trash in the paint. I was able to get most of it out. But unfortunately, I didn't catch it in time. And there is some trash here in the passenger door. You can kind of see it, which really bums me out. So, I mean, there's some here as well. I didn't get it all out. I thought I did. I used a tack cloth and wiped everything off multiple times. So, you know, unfortunately, lesson learned. So, paper way out here, paper across there, and then use this plastic out here. So that's kind of really disappointed. I love the color. Now, while it's sitting in the garage, right? It's only been maybe an hour since I painted it, and just kind of looking at it. You know, we'll have to see what it looks like outside. Looks like I missed a low spot there. Oh well. You know, I had some runs in the car up here last time. No runs in the car. There is a little air hose touch right here. But other than that, guys, taking the light around it, it looks pretty good. We'll find out what it looks like outside. You know, that'll be the true tell. Deck lid looks like it turned out pretty nice. Don't know if there's orange peel. You know, I tried to do the drop, and do different directions to make sure there's no streaks, if you will, in the panel. Looks like the flake definitely, you know, laid nice, because I mean it's the metal flake is definitely sticking out. You know, I didn't have any real problems spraying the metal flake. I thought that wasn't too bad. So there you go, guys. A little dejected with the trash that got in the passenger side. Like I said, hopefully the car, you know, looks good when it gets outdoors. It's hard to tell in here, you know, with the lighting and stuff, if and all the crap around. You know, if there's not shiny areas, shinier, one area is more than another. When we open up the garage door on a nice sunny day that, you know, not today. I mean, today's a beautiful day, but it's going to get colder over the next couple of weeks. So we'll start ripping all this apart and cleaning this mess up tomorrow. And so once I get it all assembled, guys, I'll kind of, you know, do a little video on how it turned out when we get it all back together. So I guess that wraps it up for today in this video. Thank you all for watching. Much appreciated. Hopefully you learned a couple of things not to do from me. And now I need to go to the other side of the whole barn and clean up an absolutely huge mess that I've made over there. See you guys around. Well, guys, here's the car. It's been a couple of days now since I painted it. And, you know, there's a little bit of orange and peel in it. Some of this, what you'll see is, you know, there is overspray that needs to be taken out. But overall, you know, there's a few mistakes in it. As you saw, you know, a few minutes ago, I was pretty frustrated. But you know, overall, for me only doing my second ever paint job, I'm pretty happy with it. It's not perfect, but you know what? It's better than what it was. So I'm gonna call it a win. Now, you can see I got the front bumper over there because my wife and I were looking and going, I wonder how the silver bumper would look against the green. And we're like, or the, you know, this gunmetal gray or whatever you want to call it. And we're like, no, it is not going to have silver bumpers. So I got to figure out what color to do the bumpers. We're still thinking black hood, black bumpers. And as you can see here, I've got the hood because I'm getting ready to start converting it over from a pin-on hood to a bolt-on hood. So I've got a good idea how I'm going to do it. We'll get into that in the next video. So right now, my daughter's coming up this weekend, and we're going to figure out what color to do the bumpers, whether they be body color or do I do them in black. So if you guys made it this far into the video, and if you have an opinion, they're not going to be silver. They'll be either body color or black. The hood is going to be black, satin black. And I cannot wait to get this car polished out. I cannot use any buffing compound or anything on it because being a single stage in the metallic, it'll mess it up. So we can only, you know, polish this car and get rid of like a lot of the overspray. I shouldn't say a lot. Some of the overspray that's on it and get this cleaned up so it looks a little better. So that's kind of where we're at, guys. So I think we're going to wrap up the video here. So thanks for watching. Stick around for converting the bolt-on hood or pin-on hood to a bolt-on and what we decide to do for the bumpers. Paint them body color or do I paint them black like I'm going to do with the hood? And then I got to get a new windshield put in. I mean, let me rephrase that. I need to get the windshield reinstalled, not a new one. I've got a good one. I just need to have somebody come out and put it in for me. And then we can start working on the interior, get it all back together and stuff.